Welcome to Midnight Murmur. Here, the night comes alive with chilling tales and spine-tingling stories. If you crave the thrill of the unknown and the eerie whisper of the supernatural, you've found your new haunt. Join us as we dive into the darkest corners of the human mind, unraveling short horror stories that will keep you up at night. Hit that subscribe button, turn off the lights, and let the murmur begin. The Watcher in the Woods. Sarah had always craved solitude, so when she inherited her aunt's remote cabin, she thought it was the perfect escape from the relentless pace of city life. Nestled deep within a dense forest, the cabin promised peace and quiet, exactly what she needed to finish her novel. The first few nights were blissfully uneventful. The sounds of nature lulled her to sleep, and the fresh air invigorated her during the day. But then, she began to notice the shadows. At first, they were just fleeting glimpses at the edge of the forest, easily dismissed as tricks of the light or her imagination. However, as the nights grew longer, the shadows became more pronounced, more deliberate in their movements. One evening, as a storm raged outside, Sarah decided to explore the attic, hoping to find some old photographs or keepsakes. What she found instead was a dusty, leather-bound diary. The entries were dated back several decades and were penned by a man named Jacob, the cabin's previous tenant. As she read, Sarah's blood ran cold. Jacob wrote of his growing paranoia, his nights filled with terror as a creature he called the Watcher stalked him from the forest's edge. Jacob's words painted a vivid picture of his descent into madness. He described the Watcher as a tall, shadowy figure with glowing eyes that seemed to pierce the darkness. It never spoke, never approached, but its presence was an ever-looming threat. Each diary entry became more frantic, more desperate, as Jacob tried to find a way to escape its gaze. Sarah couldn't shake the eerie feeling that she was being watched, just as Jacob had been. She decided to test her theory by leaving subtle markers outside the cabin, hoping to catch a glimpse of whatever lurked in the woods. Sure enough, the markers were disturbed the next morning, moved in ways that suggested an intelligent, malevolent force. As she read further, she realized with horror that the diary's entries seemed to predict her own experiences. Jacob had meticulously recorded his actions and thoughts, and they mirrored Sarah's own journey almost exactly. The last entry was the most chilling. "The Watcher is closer now. I can feel its breath on my neck. I fear I have little time left." Determined to break the cycle, Sarah decided to confront the Watcher. Armed with a flashlight and a sense of grim determination, she ventured into the forest. The air was thick with tension, and every rustle of leaves sent her heart racing. She reached the spot where she had seen the shadows most frequently and called out, demanding the creature reveal itself. For a moment, there was only silence. Then, from the darkness, the Watcher emerged. Its form was indistinct, a mass of shadows with eyes that glowed like embers. It stood there, watching her, its presence a palpable force. Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of dread, but she held her ground. "What do you want?" she shouted, her voice trembling. The Watcher tilted its head, as if considering her question. Then, in a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the forest itself, it spoke. "I am the guardian of these woods. Those who enter must face their fears." Sarah felt a strange calm wash over her. She realized that the Watcher fed on the fear and despair of those it tormented. Resolving to face her fears, she closed her eyes and steadied her breathing. She pictured herself free of the terror, free of the cabin, back in the city surrounded by life and light. When she opened her eyes, the Watcher was gone. The forest was still and silent, as if the encounter had never happened. Sarah returned to the cabin, packed her belongings, and left without looking back. As she drove away, she glanced in the rearview mirror one last time, half expecting to see glowing eyes in the distance. But there was nothing. The Watcher had been vanquished, its power broken by her resolve. Sarah knew she would never return to the cabin, but she also knew she had conquered something within herself. The forest and its dark guardian were behind her now. Sarah woke with a start, her heart pounding. She was still in the cabin, the faint light of dawn seeping through the windows. The relief she had felt was shattered by the realization that it had all been a dream. She was still trapped in the nightmare, still in the cabin with the Watcher. A cold breath brushed against her neck. She turned slowly, terror freezing her in place. The Watcher's glowing eyes were inches from her face, its presence suffocating. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. The last thing she saw was the glint of its eyes as it moved in for the kill, her dream of escape forever shattered. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more chilling content.